bring my own stopwatch after years of having my time cut off by people, and I would like to make the best use of my time. Some people get a little offended by my speaking voice, but this is the voice I was taught to use in the United States Army when I'm speaking to a large group of people. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I just want to make sure you can hear me clearly. I have a belief that hasn't gone away in 20 years, and that is that we, as a city, have to deliver services to the people of this city before we go off and invest in grocery stores that don't come, in buildings that there's no public use for. And quite frankly, I am tired of hearing everybody dwell on the burned out houses instead of concentrating on making sure that people want to move into this city and take over some of those burned out houses and bring them back. Now, I know some of them are past gone, but I can tell you I lived next to a burned out house for almost 10 years. And as the property values in South Park went up, somebody came, bought that house, fixed it up, and it's now occupied. You can't build a city by tearing it down. You can build a city by making it more desirable than the other communities in the area for people to move in and live. And that's what we have to focus on. Things government really can do. Not create jobs, not economic development. Deliver a quality delivery of services that makes people want to live in this community. So, some of the things that, personally, pet peeve of mine, you got a problem. Why do we have to search through all the numbers of at City Hall to find the right department? Why isn't there just one number? You call, you put in, talk to somebody, they take your complaint, they take care of it, and you get a call back the next day with the status, and every day until it's done and taken care of. I suggested that 20 years ago. Now we have software that does it. It's called Help Desk, but it hasn't gotten to the city yet. Why do we sweep streets while there are still cars parked on it? That has bewildered me for years. If they can sweep the streets in New York City and get the cars off the street when it's time to sweep, we can do that here too. But those are minor things. Well, sort of minor, until you realize that all these little things add up. Like when you call for the police, we need the police to come. When you call for the fire, we need the fire to come. We are not delivering services at the level that you deserve and that you paid for. We don't have a Parks and Recreation program anymore, and then we wonder why we have a problem with crime. Children need after-school activities. We've got problems with how our priority boards have been set up. We need a new system. I have those ideas, and we'll talk more about them today. Thank you.
Okay, AJ, we'll come back.
I've always been kind of amazed at the priority board system as someone who came in after it had been established. But it seemed to me like an extra layer of bureaucracy in between the people and the people in power. In fact, I often saw things go to the priority board to die. I believe that it's hard enough to have a good, strong neighborhood organization, and then to have extra time committed to go to extra meetings of the priority board, and then go through all that, and then report back and forth. It got too complex. As our city shrunk, it definitely became overwhelming. So my idea, straight from the beginning, is work on strengthening neighborhood associations, because that's where the rubber meets the road, right there. So we take the neighborhood associations, and we have them have, the president of each neighborhood association needs to meet directly with the city manager on a regular basis. Because the city manager is the one who gets things done. He just takes direction from the commission. The commission can also meet with the neighborhoods that way. Same process. But the key here, and the real key is, the neighborhoods that have strong neighborhood associations are the neighborhoods that are doing well. So what we have to do is we have to start again with the community activist idea and get people to help other neighborhoods, the ones that don't have neighborhood associations, to be able to form their own and to move along. And to do this, we need to set a set of parameters of what you get rewarded for doing. You know, we let the neighborhood associations figure out what works, and then teach it to other neighborhood associations, and you will get rewarded for how well you teach the one you pair up with. And so that we bring everybody up to speed and get neighborhood associations working throughout the city. Cut out the extra layer of bureaucracy, let neighbors help other neighbors, and share best practices. A lot of this can be done via social media. A lot of this can be done by having a real set of parameters on what we want to see rewarded. You get more people coming to your neighborhood meetings, you do after-school activities for kids, you organize a basketball team, those sorts of things, you get more points. And the points, those equate to dollars reinvested in your neighborhood. And it's fair across the city. You do the work, you get paid. Thank you.
Thank you.
I moved into South Park when I bought my house on January 28, 1986. That's the day the space shuttle blew up, the first time. I bought a house for $14,500. It was a little scary to me that I could buy a house for less than the cost of a car. And the first thing that happened to me, of course, which most of you probably remember, could look at people around here, was I put up the wrong kind of garage doors in the historic district. Of course, nobody ever told me it was a historic district because there weren't any signs saying it was a historic district. It wasn't in the deed. And this all led to the beginning of my political career because first I went to the neighborhoods, I went to the party boards, and I went to City Hall. And you know what? Didn't hear a whole lot of listening, but I heard an awful lot of scolding about how I'd done something wrong. And most people would just say, hey, it's only $14,500, walk away and leave this town behind. I didn't do that. My neighborhood, which Joe does live in, actually goes from Maine to Wayne, Wyoming to 35. And my neighborhood has been through its ups and downs, and at one point was very, very divided. And it was at that time that, believe it or not, I was elected president, and I did everything I could to bring the neighborhood back together, the historic, the non-historic. And for Joe saying he doesn't have a neighborhood organization, the people who live right across the street from him have been very integrated into our neighborhood. Larry and Kathy Kraft and their daughter Tracy, they come to our neighborhood meetings. I go to our neighborhood meetings. I've also been on alley sweeps, and it was alley sweeps that I was talking about at the city commission meeting and how we were paying our trash collectors 56 hours for 30 hours work by the time all this overtime was paid on their make out and quit thing, which got the commission very scared, and they didn't want citizens talking to the commission anymore on camera because I had a big time card. So that led to me pushing the buttons of the authority, getting arrested, and that's a whole long story, but I won 5 court cases on that. But in my neighborhood, I've had a different vision. And that vision, you can see if you go onto YouTube and you search for South Park Soliloquy, which was a 30-minute show I did about the neighborhood, video, in 1996. And it wasn't about the Victorian houses and East Lake trim and all the stuff that the realtors thought was what was selling the neighborhood. It was about the people of the neighborhood. And you can still watch that video today and get a very good feeling for my vision of South Park. One which has neighborhood progressive parties in the summer, one which has chili cook-offs, hot toddy parties, Halloween parade for the kids, Easter egg hunts. We do work in the neighborhood to make our neighborhood the kind of community people want to live in. And that's shown by, ours is one of the few neighborhoods where property values actually went up during this latest recession. I've been heavily involved in my neighborhood, and I've done all kinds of things in terms of the marketing. I helped do the website, I host it for the neighborhood, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I understand it starts in the neighborhoods. And the service from up on high needs to come to the neighborhoods. And that's what I have said for 20 years, and that's why I'm asking for you to give me that chance. Just once. Take a chance. Put 3 independents on this commission and see what happens. Thank you.
Okay, what I'm going to do